So I'm going to go over the concept of mass number and then complete this video help with you. Alright, so the first thing for you to know, while atomic number, and I'll write it over here, atomic number is just your number of protons equals protons, number of protons. Okay. Your mass number is just your number of protons plus your number of neutrons, and that's it. So now at this point we can do all of these problems. The important thing for you to know, while you can find your atomic number on your periodic table, we'll go over this a little bit later, but your mass number is not actually on your periodic table. So don't look there for the mass number. Look at the information I've provided you. So I'm going to do this first problem with you. For Ca2+, the 2+ charge tells us automatically that you've got more protons than electrons, and specifically you've got 2 more protons than electrons because protons have a plus charge and electrons have a minus charge. And so calcium, if I look at my periodic table, calcium has an atomic number of 20, therefore it has 20 protons. Now, since calcium has 20 protons and it's got 2 more protons than electrons, that means electron-wise I've got to have 18. Now, some people have trouble with this reasoning, the fact that you have 2 more protons than electrons, therefore it's a 2+ charge. And some people just say if it's a 2+ charge, I subtract 2 from protons. If it's a 2- charge, I add 2 electrons. The most important thing for you to remember, if I have a positive charge, if I have an ion, or a negative charge, an ion, do not change your number of protons, because what that does is actually change what element or atom you're dealing with. So for example, if I took calcium and took away 2 protons, I would have an atomic number of 18. And if you look at your periodic table, argon has an atomic number of 18. So when I'm dealing with ions, you change the number of electrons. You never change the number of protons. Now, this part's the new part. Remember, mass number equals your number of protons plus your number of neutrons. So I've got 20 protons, 20 neutrons, so my mass number is 40. For the next one, I don't tell you what ion it is, so you need to determine that. Well, if I've got 15 protons, what has an atomic number of 15? Well, that's phosphorus. Now, to determine the charge of phosphorus, I've got 15 protons and 18 electrons. That means I have a total of 3 extra electrons. So an extra 3- charge, which is the charge of phosphorus. For number of neutrons, I got 15 protons and a mass number of 31. So, using this formula right here, if I have a mass number of 31, if you need to do the math, that's totally fine. If you don't do it. 15 protons plus, I don't know how many neutrons. Well, just basic math, if you subtract both sides by 15, you end up with 16. So I've got 16 neutrons, and that's it. All right. For the next one, chlorine. Chlorine has an atomic number of 17. All right. Electron-wise, it's got a negative charge, which means it has 1 more electron than proton, so it's going to have 18 electrons. Okay. Neutron-wise, I've got 17 protons. I've got a mass number of 35. So 17 plus what equals 35, and that's 18. So that's my number of neutrons. For this last one, I've got an atomic number of 50. Tin, Sn, has an atomic number of 50. Now if you look at electrons versus protons, I've got 1 more proton than electron, which means the charge of tin is going to be +1. Now, you can put a +1 or just plus, like I did here for the minus. You can put -1 or just minus. It's fine. If you don't put another number, it's implied to be a 1. Okay. Now, for the mass number, I've got 50 protons, and I've got 119 neutrons. So what I need to do is I need to add, I messed this up. This problem got messed up. This should be right here. 119 is the mass number of Sn. All right. So if I have a mass number of 119 and I have 50 protons, I need 69 neutrons, because protons plus neutrons equals your mass number. All right? If you guys need more practice, please come in and ask me. I've got tons of problems in my head. And that's it.